3, 2, 1.
Game resumed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Novawar.
And MaximusBlack.
And we're bringing you another normal game sent in by the fans to www.lag.tv, LAGTV. Go and sign up, send us your games, become part of Lag effing Nation. Mr. MaximusBlack.
Yep.
Hit me up with the sound of the Red Protoss's name if you were Tony the Tiger.
Markrocks. Did I say market?
Markrocks. There you go. Much better.
I don't know why I was seeing market. But
Market.
I just make shit, dude. My eyes.
Your brain just makes shit up.
It does. I'm dead serious.
Just makes shit up. Just inserts random shit. It's not even like you mix letters up. It actually just adds and subtracts.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to tell me, bro. I live with it.
It's not even dyslexia. It's like
Dyslexia. What the fuck, yeah?
Adlexia.
There you go.
Or arithmetilexia. Somebody will coin a term for that. Call it MaximusBlackia. Perfect. Sorry. We've got good news and bad news. The bad news is you have a horrible disease. The good news is we're naming it after you.
Great! This map, this is one of these new maps. I totally forget. I think it's called Frost something.
Frosted Flakes, right?
I thought it's either Frozen something or Frost something. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. I had vetoed this the moment I played it, and that's because...
Let me guess. Expansion's impossible against Zerg.
No. It was the
Really?
fact that it was like... when I played it, the spawns were here and here, right?
Interesting.
And,
okay.
and remember, this is the map where they
right, the rocks and shit. Yeah,
the rocks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they changed the spawn locations to where these guys are at, or this is like a custom game, because usually you started up here, up top, left and bottom right, and I really just didn't like the fact that it was tough for me to even get a natural without having to wall off on two different sides.
Right.
Against Zerg. So if you got like 6 pooled, it's virtually impossible to have enough structures to stop it from both sides. So I don't know. I don't know if they changed the spawn points and you realize that, okay, this is stupid, and now you can just wall off here instead. I just haven't played the map. So
well, maybe
I could be talking into my ass. I have no idea.
Who knows? Yeah. Although these would be better spawning positions, certainly.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll unveto if these are the spawning positions.
Oh, the spawn locations are random, so it could be either one.
Really? That's interesting.
It's always cross.
The majority...
It's always cross spawning, but it's random.
Okay, because that's pretty significant.
That's a huge change, though.
Because the way that these naturals are, I mean, that's really significant.
You either have to wall twice or wall once, and yeah, so like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, then if that's the case, I still leave it vetoed, and Blizzard, don't do this again.
No, that's a terrible life choice. Down here in the bottom left, Markrocks, otherwise known as Markrocks. And up here in the top right, we have the one, the only, maybe a little too patriotic, the blue state, Texas, which is funny because it's actually, I'm pretty sure, a red state. Apparently, part of the illustrious clan Tiff.
I can guarantee Texas is most certainly a Republican state.
Yep.
I can guarantee it.
Yep.
I don't know for sure, but I can almost guarantee.
I wonder if you walk into like a clothing store there, if they even sell blue shit.
Probably not.
Can you imagine being such a red state that they're like, no.
Yeah.
What's a red t-shirt? Or what's a blue t-shirt? I don't.
What's blue?
What's blue? That's purple. There's no such thing. What are we seeing right now? We talked so much about random stuff that I've lost. I'm kind of lost as to what's going on. We have a 1-gate. Was that a 1-gate expand I saw that's now turning into a robo?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This is really standard. So basically, what you do when you're doing a 1-gate expand against Protoss is you'll get out your one gateway. You'll drop your Nexus. I think around 27 supply. But what you'll do is you'll get out 3 sentries immediately so that you can force field. You'll get your mothership core out. I'm not 100% sure the the exact supply, I can tell you in just a second. 17, you want to get your mothership core, and then that way, by the time your Nexus finishes, you'll have enough to do a photon overcharge, kind of like what you're seeing right now.
Yep.
It'll keep your expand alive, and you'll immediately chuck down your robo once you have the minerals, and then 2 more gates. And that is exactly what this guy is doing. So he'll be on 3 gates, 1 robo against a 1 base Protoss. So essentially, as long as you can hold,
You're okay.
you basically won. I mean, you've got the macro.
Can I just say that I came a little with those force fields?
You came a little.
I came a little.
Yeah.
Very nice. 2 sentries, or maybe even 3. Couldn't see. Just 3 force fields, just enough to do it. And he totally owned it up.
He's still going to need a little bit of work because he hasn't his immortal. Oh, that's why
Yes.
he's having a hard time here.
Yeah.
His immortal. I was like, his immortal's really late, and his mortal is trapped right now in
Oh,
that pylon.
Oh no!
Which may actually cost him, but no, a beautiful freaking time
Time warp.
time warp. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't say that. And managed to trap a couple of those stalkers,
for
and
help.
he kept the mothership core alive, and the probes are doing the work. And that was a beautiful hold, considering there wasn't even an immortal there. If the immortal was there,
GG.
everything would have been disintegrated, and he probably would have rage quit.
Holy crap! Well done. He lost a lot of workers, unfortunately, and
It doesn't matter. That's the thing.
well, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but I mean, unfortunately, because of the immortal.
Yeah.
Being there, it didn't have to happen, but he did a really damn good job given what he did. Now the immortal is out.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough. Oh, he does have enough. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't have enough energy for an overcharge yet.
He
But
needs
the
100.
immortal is here, and he's still gonna be able to clean this up. And the blue Protoss is gonna have to think more about what he wants to do with his life. Maybe take up another profession. I hear strippers make way more money than teachers.
That second pull actually hurt him right there. He lost a few more probes. The probe count is still 29 to 25, so there's still a little bit of a lead here for our Markrocks. But man, if that immortal was down there, I think it would have been already GG.
Oh yeah, he would have just been gone.
I mean, this is what, platinum level? I mean, he did a really good opening for that. And I mean, I've just started doing this build recently, just started practicing it. And I'm not going to lie, he did it just as good as how I do it. It was really nicely done. I wasn't totally paying attention because I was talking about Texas and other shit, but at face
Important
value
topics.
and at the timings, it seemed to be really well.
No,
except for that immortal.
I was going to say that he seems to be playing kind of ahead of his league anyway. It seems very nice. Like, the timings all seem nice. Even the micro there seemed nice. He said the second round hurt him a bit more than needed to. But I mean, damn. Well done, Mr. Markrocks. You are showing how it's done right now. Now Markrocks gets to go on the offensive now. Texas has got to be careful because the red's about to invade the red.
I actually think Mark needs to be careful. If he goes up here, he's going to just get his ass handed
Oh
to
god,
him.
there's a void ray.
Yeah, that void ray is going to do a lot of damage.
Jesus, no. Go home, Mark.
Yeah, go home, you're drunk.
Go home.
That void ray would tear a strip in those 3 stalkers, and there's still an immortal and a bunch of stalkers here. He didn't have a photon overcharge. His mothership core is just coming out now, but he's at his base, and it means just going to be warp ins. He's got probes if he needs to pull, and one bad engagement there can really cost him the game, especially since there's still that pylon for I
was going to say,
Texas.
the one thing that I noticed that I would have changed about Markrocks is that he should have known that there's a pylon here, and he's getting it now. But before he pushed out, imagine if he had engaged.
Would have been bad news
even
bears.
even if the engagement was going kind of okay for him, he could have been in shit just from having that pylon there. So that would have been a much better thing to do, to go down there. He knows the pylon has to be there. He saw how many stalkers were coming in originally, so there had to be a forward pylon. Didn't get it, but he got it now. And now it's kind of a bit of a reset here. Where's the supply coming in? Okay, so it's all army, basically, for Mr. TxState right now. He's been building up quite an army, and this is actually getting to be pretty scary considering what Mr. Markrocks has got in the front of his base. Force fields are going to be necessary should this attack happen as soon as it looks like it might.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate about that one immortal. I really feel like the game would have been already over.
Yeah.
He would have done nothing with those stalkers. It would have been such a huge probe lead. He would have been on 2 base. If he countered, the natural wouldn't even have finished for Texas. But, you know, a mistake is really costing him here. And I actually think Texas might be a bit of a better all-around player, sadly. I mean, judging by the build order at the start, Mark was doing really, really well. But look at the steps that our blue player, Texas, is doing right now. He's got an Oracle. He could definitely go into the main here, even though there's one Stalker. He can still tear apart a lot of probes. He's getting really heavy Zealot base here for the ground to soak up a lot of this damage. The only problem is that he's fighting at the base, and there's going to be that Photon overcharge. And we also saw some really good force fields from Mark at the beginning of the game, so we may see those again. So here comes the battle.
That was a really nice initial time warp, and it actually allowed him to get a lot of extra damage done before he goes into it, which he needs with his Photon Overcharge now in play. But it doesn't seem to matter a whole hell of a lot as Texas is tearing him up all over the place. 3 more and an extra Immortal now coming into play. That Immortal soaking up a lot of that overcharged damage, which I guess, except for the fact that it went down, was kind of beneficial for him there in the long haul. But it looks like Markrocks is going to hold with the pulling of the probes, and like you said, very dangerous to just come in here with what he had at the ramp. Well, maybe it's not entirely over yet, but what do we have up here as well? We have a Warp Prism with 2 Zealots for Markrocks going in for TxState, just trying to get any kind of damage he can get. There's a Void Ray on the way there in that Stargate. And now we have a Zealot battle in the expansion here, main, or natural I should say, of Markrocks. So he held, and at the same time, WTF, Mr. Black, suddenly there's all sorts of units in the base of TxState.
Yeah, it's starting to look really bad, and he just hasn't used this Oracle. This one Oracle he's has down here at the third. If he were to take that in the main, that would have been so many probe kills while that battle was happening at the natural, which I thought he was going to do. And the steps that he was taking after that initial sort of attack of the fail of Mark, he was playing a really solid game, and then as soon as the fighting started, that's when his multitasking just really shit the bed. His macro started to slip a little bit. His micro wasn't the greatest. His decision-making wasn't the best. He should have backed off. He did a lot of damage at the start, but he overstayed his welcome. And he allowed that Mothership Core, that Photon Overcharge, to really focus fire on his Immortals. He was taking way too much damage. All he needed to do was poke, do a lot of damage, back up, do another Warp Cycle, and then went in immediately after the Overcharge was finished because he picked off the Mothership Core. But he just made a lot of bad decisions, and I got to hand it to Mark. He picked up on it. It was a really solid opening, and it was just a decent Platinum game. Holy tits.
That was a really good Platinum game.
It was good. I got nothing bad to say about this
game.
That
was better than some of the Masters games we've casted recently, so I've got absolutely nothing bad to say about it, really. That was fun to watch, even. That was enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed myself watching that. Congratulations, Mr. Markrocks, on winning the game twice. I'm going to give it to you the first time that you would have had it if it wasn't for the fact that your Immortal was stuck behind a pylon. And I'm going to give it to you because you baller mode, brought a Warp Prism up, got it past Void Rays and shit, and managed to warp it an enormous army into the base of Texas. And so well done to you indeed, sir. And unfortunate for TxState not capitalizing. Like you said, just going in there was real sketchy. He probably should have backed out, maybe drawn the overcharge and then left and waited and come back another day. He
makes the same mistakes I make, and it's sure I'm at a higher level. I play at a much higher level, but I make the same mistakes where you get over anxious, you do damage, you see blood, and then you want to kill. But sometimes just because you see blood doesn't necessarily mean that you can go for the kill. And sometimes when you stick around even 30 seconds, 15 seconds too late, it'll actually cost you. You'll lose your army, and the next thing you know it, you've got that Warp Prism at your base. There's a full Warp Cycle, and he just caught you doing another Warp Cycle trying to go in a second time, and you have nothing at your base to stop it. You lose your pylons for your gateways, and you find yourself in a really shitty situation. And you know that's what separates. And that's what I find a lot. Like when I'm up against GM players, that's one thing that I learned that makes it really tough to beat them. And why I'm still not at that level is because they just understand when to attack and when to back off, even when they're in significant lead, and I'm thinking to myself, well, just kill me. They just don't take that risk. They just back up. They say, okay, hey, it's all good. I'll wait just a couple more seconds. Why would I risk potentially throwing away my army when I can win in 60 seconds? So why not just wait, take a step back, take a breather, refocus, and then go back in for the finishing blow instead of going through all this madness. And I think that's what we saw here in this game. It was sort of the same thing, where he saw blood, but he just made it just a bad judgment call. And that's what makes StarCraft such a great competitive game. Even though when you're down, you can always come back. It's like you know, if I have to make the analogy of Silva versus Sonnen. When he was getting his ass kicked,
just whooped his ass the whole
thing, but he waited for that one moment. And when he was going for the kill, if he would have just waited out just a little bit longer for the win, that's when the greats or the better, you know,
separate from the rest.
Exactly, and it's just those one moments in time where you'll throw away a perfectly good game for no reason.
Oh, absolutely. So, incredible platinum game. Well done to both of you gentlemen for impressing us both. That's going to be it for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Novawar.
And MaximusBlack.
We'll see you guys soon.